Parsons was going to be able to rush the passer as well as he did. You're the only person I've ever seen to ever say that Micah Parsons could be a put his hand down guy. So I need that question answered.
The OC.
And Boss showed me. Woo. This going to be an interesting one, man. Because Michael Gehlken predicted this whole thing with Micah Parsons a year ago. Woo, we got to talk.
Like, we must have got a guard. That's the only thing that would have made him do that. That's it.
He know.
He know. Because he been watching Twitter, man.
See, because a lot of people got opinions. Information gonna be everywhere. This is gonna be used for clickbait in a massive level. But we not gonna do that here. We gonna tell the truth. We gonna show you. That's what we do.
My reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
Man, see, because I said,
Boss, show me.
I said, show me. And they showed me. They showed me. I said, talk is cheap. You got to show me. When they was talking about the leaks and the rumors of Mike being traded. Oh, yeah, they showed me. Ooh, they showed me.
Shot it. Fight for, see, that's how to go out. Don't go out, just sit back. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to take Matthew Golden. No, fight for it. You want it physical. You said you want it physical. Fight for it.
Ooh, Cowboys, you got to fight right now. So we going to be looking at this morale, man. But I trust me, this gonna be one of my best shows. Trust me, I'ma show you. I'ma show you. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Somebody else said
It's
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it's a lot of people gonna be searching for answers. It's gonna be a lot of, I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be a lot of trash put out in the streets. So you gotta be very careful who you listening to right now. And even if you're listening to them, I had no problem with listening. I would say you want to cross-reference what you hearing through people that you can trust. So I'm gonna say this because I usually don't go live on Fridays. That's usually the day that I kind of recharge and focus on my money or do some planning and stuff like that. What's up, country? But obviously, given the circumstances, this is a huge deal, right? What happened with Micah? So I said a while ago, okay? I said a while ago, I'm gonna keep it real, because a lot of y'all know to come here when you want answers, because I tell the truth.
You want answers?
And I show my work. I show you. I don't tell you. But this has to be a place where you can't
handle the truth.
So I said this, bruh, and I meant this when I said it. And I have no reason to kiss his ass because he no longer actually even reporting for the Cowboys. I said this and I meant this when he left. I said and I meant this, and it's still true, that the community was gonna miss Michael Gehlken. This was one of the most sound people and insiders we had, hands down. I'm gonna prove it today. I'm gonna show you today that this man was, I always said he was the best. My two favorite in in the space to this day is still Michael Gehlken and James Slater. Those are my two best. Those are the two people that showed me that they, as much as possible, actually cover the team with integrity and honesty and actual journalism and research. Those are the people to me that fit me. I'm somebody that you got to show me. So I'm going to show y'all some stuff from Michael Gehlken, right? Because I talked to Michael, I even got him on the phone, and we talked. And even though he's no longer working with the Dallas Morning News, his shadow is still felt. This is going to be a dope show, trust me, bro. Because I'm going to get to the real nitty gritty today. And this is what Michael Gehlken told me. He said, I was tempted to repost a clip of us talking about, but didn't want to take a victory lap, which shows his humility. Because he deserves to take a victory lap, because he was talking about this a year ago. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go through this. I promise you, this is going to be one of my best shows. For people who want the truth, you got to follow Boss Cowboys Sports. I'm going to just tell you. But let me say this real quick about Michael Gehlken before I start showing what he discussed. It's okay for you not to take a victory lap, because I've always said this. It's always best when others brag on you. People don't like you to brag on yourself. Just what it is. But this man, I'm telling you, was one of the best. So I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm going to start showing you now. And I'm going to break this all the way down on Micah Parsons. It's going to be very interesting. So here we go. Getting into it. And I'm going to get into what's really going on. You ain't going to hear it nowhere else either, but I'm going to tell you what's really going on. But first, let me feature Michael Gehlken and the prediction and why. And okay, so let me first just tell you, he did an article. And he was talking about, in this article, the financial storm. Okay? The financial storm that was brewing around paying the big three. The big three being Dak, CD, and Micah. So this generated my team, and I have relations with Michael. So I reached out to him and said, we got to do a show on that. Because that's a big warning that you have that's going under the radar. You was warning. That's a big warning. I want to talk about it. And because Michael just cool, he came on the show on the final word and we discussed it. Okay. Now, I'm going to also feature the fact that this is not the first time he's done this. I'm going to show y'all why I called him the best. The best. Okay. So y'all check this out. Here we go. All right, here we go. We have Mr. Michael Gehlken himself. All right, so we gonna start from the top turnbuckles. We gonna come right off the gate. See, because this is this gonna take me about 3 minutes to say. It's July 9th, 2024. Set this up too. I'm gonna be low with it, but you deserve this. So let's start here. Here we go.
I think we all know what this season is for Amari Cooper. We should know what this season is for Amari Cooper. He's got guaranteed money left. The all remaining guaranteed money is in 2021. 2022 is all dried up, and so the Cowboys theoretically could move on from Amari Cooper. They would only take a $6 million hit in terms of dead money against their 2022 salary cap, and that could clear some money to pay Michael Gallup. It's hard to imagine the Cowboys, having their big three at wide receiver for, the 2022 season, given what they pay Dak, what they paid Zeke, what they pay their offensive line to go ahead and give Michael Gallup his worth while you're paying Amari Cooper $20 million a year, and you have CeeDee Lamb as a first-round draft pick. It's just hard to compute all that working with the team also needing a defense. So long. answered your Amari Cooper question, but I think that the big picture of him is really interesting, really fascinating. You probably can't talk about it enough because all things related to Amari have a real trickle-down effect on how it could ultimately impact Michael Gallup and his future in Dallas.
Shout out to A to Z Sports. Michael Gehlken right there was predicting that there was going to be a problem with paying 3 receivers. And this was way before it happened too. And we ended up getting rid of Amari. That was the wrong decision. They should have got rid of Gallup. Steven admitted later on that he literally said we wouldn't have been able to keep Amari if we would have kept Gallup. No, he said we wouldn't have been able to keep Gallup if we would have kept Amari. In other words, we picked Gallup over Amari. So I'm gonna go against some of what y'all think. A lot of people think the cap is a mirage. It's not a mirage. The cap has to be managed. So we gonna have a talk about management and paying the wrong players, tagging the wrong players. We gonna have the real talk of what's broke down Micah. Not the agent and greed. That's all bullshit. But let me go back to Michael Gehlken because see, I wish he was still in the space because at this point it would be obvious that when he warns, pay attention. And because his article was, and it's still available, his article was basically about the can kicking back. The cap can kicking back. Yeah. And see, I'm going to tell you what a lot of us do, and it's never going to work on me. It's going to work on some people. It's not going to work on me. So what a lot of us try to do, and what we do, we try to make Jerry and Steven look like liars, right? And we say the cap is a mirage. And we do this every year. We start showing how they can free up money by moving certain things around. Okay. That's what we do. But what we don't talk about, what Michael Gehlken talked about in this article, is when the dead cap ramification comes back in the future. So I'm not interested in the 1 year projections of how to free up temporary cash for a current potential off season. If you're not willing to do the work of at least a 3 to 4 projection and show all the ramifications as he did, I'm not listening to that. I'm not. You know, it takes real work. And he go talk about the work that he put in to show and why he was able to predict there was a storm that was coming with the big 3. And when I say big 3, that's Dak, CD, and Micah. So I'm seeing some of y'all say y'all got no notifications. So this what y'all got to do, bro. Help me out. Y'all gonna have to hit that share button. Start posting this stuff on Twitter. Post this, because people ain't gonna get this information, bro. What I'm finna show y'all is not available. It's not available. It's nobody else go do this. Nobody else go do this. So yeah, something going on with YouTube where I'm not getting notified or y'all not getting notified. I don't know what's going on with that. But do this. Do your part. Hit that share. Put it out there. Force that algorithm to pick this up. Because ain't nobody gonna be talking about this, y'all. And we a family. We got to work together. So, and I'm going deep. And I'm just getting started. So listen, Michael Gehlken continued. Also, I just want to say this. Shout out to Sky, even former A to Z Sports, even though he doesn't work with them anymore. I want to recognize that some of this came from them. For that clip. And the reason why I played that clip is because I want to show people, because what happened after that is your warning was correct. You basically was warning that you didn't see how 3 was going to be obtained. So you warning on a new article that came out. Can you kind of talk about your article a little bit?
Yeah, 3 is a crowd again.
Yeah. And then also Michael Gehlken had a newborn baby at this time. So he was fitting us in. He looked tired on this, but he was pushing through because this is a fire article. As a matter of fact, I think this was his last article before he left. Right.
Short.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, if the Cowboys were not living in a salary cap world, the decision making and how they're navigating the situation involving Dak Prescott, involving CeeDee Lamb, and involving Micah Parsons would be a lot easier. By now, you'd see at least one of those 3 would have signed a new, contract that puts them top of market at their position or close to. And of course, hasn't happened yet because this is a salary cap world, and it's a bit of a misnomer. Although some underlying truth. It's okay. I'll keep going.
I accidentally hit the wrong button. It said, both of y'all shut the... But see, he was laughing at it. So we was just chilling. We was having a good time. That was a wrong clip.
It's a bit of a misnomer, this idea that the salary cap is completely, subject to manipulation. You can do whatever you want from a team construction standpoint and not have to pay the price. That is just not true. If that was true, then Tyreek Hill would still be a Kansas City Chief.
Listen. He's making the case. Listen.
If that was true, Devontae Adams wouldn't have been traded, about a week after, I believe, Aaron Rodgers signed his new contract.
Listen, he was saying when you start having certain blockbuster deals, it could affect other players. Listen, he was telling the truth.
There are difficult decisions that teams across the league make. And right now, the Cowboys are at the precipice of everything kind of coming to a head where...
Man, I miss him. I swear to God, I miss him.
In that article that you showed of, All In and the financial... Or I think you maybe showed the... we're talking about a different one.
I got 2 of them.
Yeah, you got that one. Yeah,
so I was showing both his articles, right? Because he was warning about this with Micah. Listen.
So those 2 are kind of connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the All In the Financial Storm, I really took the time, like 2,000 words.
Yeah, 2,000 words
to explain why the Cowboys had done so little in free agency, and I think it really outlines too why they're in a holding pattern with these 3 guys, and also why.
Now, notice that he's doing future projections. Let me explain why that's important. I'm going to come back to him. See, he's doing, in that article, he did future projections, a future forecast. He looked forward, not this stuff that we do where we say, the cap not an issue. Look, you can free up. If you do this and turn this trigger. See, he took the time to say, okay, if you do that, there's also ramifications down the line. Bring that up too. See, in his article, he was saying, I brought that up. And that's why he was saying the can kicks back. Because see, if a lot of us, when we start restructuring, he said, oh no, boss, you wrong. The Eagles did it, bro. No, you wrong. Hey, just let me finish, because I didn't even make the case yet, bro. You got to let me finish. Okay. Because I know you can move stuff around, but I'm saying what we have to do is look at the bigger picture. And I ain't even made my case, bro. I can't be wrong when I ain't even make my case yet. You go hear my case in a minute. My case go actually shock a lot of y'all, but I'm going to be dead ass right when I make my case. So let me finish my case before you say I'm wrong. But I was going back to what he was saying and how if we doing this right, I'm not interested in these. This is how to free up this year's cap room. No, I want you to do the real. Oh, my boy C said I was being sarcastic. My bad, bro. You can't do me like that, C. You can't do me like that, bro. Especially you, C, because you a day one, bro. When you say stuff, I pay attention. You know what I mean? Other people I will ignore, but you my brothers, and when you say stuff, I'm be like, ooh, wait. I appreciate that, big dog. You're my brother. So anyway, we got real executives up in here. We got real thinkers up in here, like my boy D.A. Lee, like my boy C. Like, these are thinkers, right? You can't, and I'm not gonna let people just say, this is how the Cowboys can free up space now. Nah, if you're not willing to talk about the ramifications down the line of doing this or doing that, where it could affect future players like Tyler Smith and Bland, different players that's up and coming, that's starting to show stardom, I'm not really interested in that case. I want to see real work. And that's what he was doing, and that's what he did in this article. That's why he was predicting a problem with the big three.
You've seen, no doubt, that Dak Prescott very easily could be paid $60 million a year based on his market worth.
Right.
If that's what Dak Prescott wants, then that's what he should get. But
look at this man got future projections. My God. But now he talking about Dak. I'm going to talk about that.
Will the Cowboys give him that? If they do, I won't say one way or the other, but if they were to.
Because remember, this was before Dak got paid July 9, 2024. So he was forecasting the future.
I think there is a recognition within the building because of all the past contract restructures and other aspects of their finances that are outlined in that story. Mm-hmm. If they were to give Dak Prescott.
So hold on real quick. See, that part we can't skip. I'm going to repeat that and talk about something that's real important.
Because of all the past contract restructures and other aspects of their finances that are outlined in that story.
I'm going to play that one more time.
But if they were to, I think there is a recognition within the building because of all the past contract restructures.
Because of all the past contract restructures.
And other aspects of their finances that are outlined in that story.
And other aspects of the finances that's outlined in that story.
Mm-hmm. If they were to give Dak Prescott $60 million a year, which he's worth, the market says, then you are looking at a very finite period of being able to have CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons both on the Cowboys books.
See, this is why you got to come to Boss Cowboy Sports, bro. Because, see, I'm going to tell you the real. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to really spell it out. Because he talked about all the things that's outlined in that article in terms of triggers that was pulled in the past, restructures that was done, and decisions that was made. That's giving problems to the big three. I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to let him finish. This is why I had a major problem with Zack Martin skipping the line. This is why I had a major problem with the Schultz tag. This is why I have a problem with Jake Ferguson being paid on a down year. And especially when the history of tight end shows that they're very replaceable in Dallas. This is why I had a major problem with the tag of Pollard. Because when you tag players, 100% of that comes out the cap and you don't get it back. That's why I had a major problem with the tag of Dak, which is the most expensive transaction on the Dallas Cowboys history, $31 $4.5 million in the win for just 4.5 games. So then you start seeing a problem with the big three. You start seeing problems of how are we gonna pay our best. So is it really the greed of Michael Parsons? Is it really the greed? Is it really about that agent, that greedy mofo agent? Or is it the management of the Cow? Yeah, that's why. Yeah, somebody say Dallas won a trade. I think Dallas lost. Dallas lost the trade. See, that's why you gotta pay attention, man. This ain't no surface channel. This ain't no blame channel. I'm talking about what's really going on. He said, Michael Gehlken said, the problem is the things that I outlined in the article where there are certain transactions that happened in the past that's making it hard on doing what you got to do for the worthy players. So let me make this clear, because I don't do this Steven type of content. This is what I mean by Steven, to where we start, loving on Jerry and we start basically hugging up to the billionaire. I don't do that. I'm not going to slander Michael Parsons. I'm not going to do all this name calling to Michael Parsons, because Michael Parsons, I told y'all before anybody that the market value, at least on the APY, was going to be around 45 million if he was really going to get what he was due. I was saying that months ago. I was one of the only shows that showed the whole chat how to calculate it, the percentages of the cap. And I showed y'all. I looked up TJ Watt. I looked up Miles. I looked up all the top DNs, and I looked at their percentages of the cap. And I asked the question. I said, is Micah worth the percentage of the cap at the time they got their contracts? And everybody was like, yeah. And I said, so if you take that percentage that you see with these top players and you put it with Micah with this year's cap, you looking at around $45 million on the APY. And everybody said, yeah, that's his market. And I did it in the public. So this ain't gonna be the trade that greedy mofo channel. This ain't gonna be that Michael Parsons is an asshole channel. I ain't finna do him like that. Michael Parsons got what his market deserved. But y'all gotta pay attention to the real problem. And it's the management. And it's the management of the cap. That's why I was extremely upset when they paid Ferg. Because I don't want no dollars allocated to some player on a bad year when we trying to pay a superstar. It's the same reason I had a problem with the tagging of Schultz. Why are we throwing away 11 million when we potentially could keep Amari Cooper? I was not for it, and I still hate it. Angie with the super chat, she said, I checked out, but I do appreciate your content, and I'm not going to stop supporting you. And check your Cash App. Thank you so much, Angie. Angie is, listen, I love Angie. That's my sister for life. Real talk. It's some people, y'all, I love y'all. Like, this is literally bigger than content. So I'm gonna tell y'all something that a lot of y'all ain't ready to hear, but I'm gonna tell you anyway, because I was telling her the truth then. And like my boy said, Flip, we still paying Michael Gallup. That's what Michael Gehlken was talking about. When you look down a line of these decisions, don't look at 1 year's being able to hit flips and stuff like that and twist knobs and to see people that do that. Okay. Nah, bro, you got to show me at least a 4-year projection, bro. You got to do way more work than that. If you're not willing to do some real finance work, don't play with me on, do we can free up this Jerry and them liars. Nah, bro, that's no. If you go really get into them numbers, get into them numbers. Get into them numbers like Gehlken did. But I'm going to tell you one of the biggest mistakes we made. One of the biggest mistakes we made. When we let Zack Martin hold out. Cause see, that was the time to be tough, Dallas. That was the time to be tough. See, you was tough on a young player. You should have been tough on an old player. Now let's just use our common sense, because I was saying it then. I did a whole show where I said the Dallas Cowboys front office must hold the line against Zack Martin and his holdout. Because Zack Martin, see, I'm noticing something about a lot of our fans. The hypocrisy is strong and the energy is different. I said what I said. The hypocrisy is strong and the energy is different. Because when Micah is fighting for his first big contract, y'all treat him like he's supposed to give a discount. But when Zack Martin got his second big contract and then said, I wanted more after already having a market setting contract, y'all said pay him. And I was warning it, and I told everybody way before it happened. I said, if they let Zack Martin do that, that's gonna set a precedent that you go see with your younger players. Cause I made the case. I did a whole show, and I put this show in the link. If you want to go double check my work, I put this whole show in the link, and it's only 20 minutes. And I made the case on why they should not allow Zack Martin to skip all these young players. You shouldn't let a player in their 30s hold you hostage. If it was anywhere, you should have had the nuts that you just showed on Micah Parsons. It should have been with a 30-year-old. And at the time, he was 32. And I warned this was going to cause a precedent. And I said you go likely see this with your young players because this is what I was saying. I'm going to repeat what I said. I said the Dallas Cowboys have been winning for years. They was able to say with a straight face. Hold on real quick. They was able to say with a straight face that the way that we're able to keep all of y'all, they was able to say this with a straight face. The way that we're able to keep all of y'all is that we give all of y'all long-term contracts. So if you're going to be a Dallas Cowboy and you want us to be able to keep all this talent around you, we have to all take a haircut. So when they allowed Zack Martin to skip the line, that said no more haircuts. I want mine. And see, that was the time if they wanted to say, okay, everybody got to do it like this, they should have stayed strong on him. But you chose to be strong on Micah. But Micah learned it from Zack Martin. This is what I said about this Zack Martin situation when it was going through it. Listen, bro.
They have to hold. The Dallas Cowboys front office must hold.
This 2 years ago.
I don't think they go hold, but I think they must hold. They have to protect the way they have been doing business, because with their best players, it has been working. So if you allow Zack Martin to put pressure on you while already having a contract to get more, who's gonna stop the other group of youngsters that's coming up to also hold your feet to the fire? So if you allow, and I'm just keeping it real, if you allow Zack Martin to do this, you telling me Micah Parsons not next?
Boss, pay Zack Martin. Are you crazy? Boss. And see, Star in the building. I saw what y'all did to Star, man. Star was right. Star was one of the ones with me. Me and Star together joined hands and said, hey, don't pay Zack. Ship him on. You been winning. Y'all been winning. Y'all got the joint message that, listen, if you go be one of our best, you got to do longer term deals. When you bent the knee to Zack, that sent a message to Micah. That said, oh, you got the money. That's what it said. See, the time you should have been tough was then on an older, declining player. The person you should have traded was Zack Martin. But you traded a young star. And shout out to Star, because Star, you was right. And you got attacked for it. My girl Stargazer was right. She came out and she was like, man, they need to trade Zack Martin now. Get something while you can. Especially with him out the blue, just holding out. Now, none of y'all called him greedy for that. And he had a long-term contract. So then Michael Gehlken looking at the numbers and he like, oh shit. It looked like they management go give some problems to this big three. And here we are. It looked like that management caused some problems for the big three. So, yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. yes, I do know and my boy say a mom and pop store mentality. I think it's worse. I think it's a good old boy mentality. I think it's worse. Because, and I've been saying this, I'm sick of them. And see, this is what I'm not finna see. This is I'm gonna tell you what's next, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm not gonna tolerate. I'm not gonna tolerate if we would have paid Dak. You know, it was because we paid Dak all that money. We couldn't, you know. It was because of we CD. Nah, I ain't gonna let y'all do that to the dudes who balling, who still making big plays. Yeah. Nah, I ain't gonna let y'all do it. Nah. Let's talk about the real management problems. Tagging players that should have got contracts where you could have spaced out. And if you would have paid Pollard, the market for running backs at that time was depressed. You would have had him at a deal. If you get these players done early like Philly, you don't keep jacking up your price. If you don't tag Schultz and blow $11 million in the smoke. And I'm going to tell you right now, you shouldn't pay no tight ends unless they're great. None. Stop paying tight ends. Replace tight ends. Listen, the Dallas Cowboys have successfully transitioned without a hitch every tight end one, with mostly late rounders. Witten was a late rounder, third rounder. He was replaced by Schwam, who was like a seventh rounder or sixth rounder. He was replaced by Jarwin, who was undrafted. He was replaced by then Schultz, who was a fifth rounder, who was then replaced by Ferg, who was a fourth rounder. It looked like that position is the easiest position to transition in and out, but yet we throw bags at their ass. But then and play hardball with the people that's the hardest to replace. That's backwards management to me. So let me tell you the perfect way I can explain this. I'm not interested in you telling me that it's hard to pay your mortgage when you've been at the strip club making it rain. I'm just not interested. It's so hard. Them bills high. Ooh, them bills high. But then you out there gambling, paying old players, and you throwing a whole 11 million at a hot pocket tight end. What do I mean by hot pocket? Under the Kellen Moore scheme, Schultz had one of the easiest jobs in the world. He literally had to read basic coverages, go into a pocket, turn around, and post up. And Dak would just boop, option routes all day. Was he just beating people with like routes? Was he routing up linebackers?
Oh, hell no.
Was he just taking balls vertical and catching over their head?
No, God. No, God, please, no. 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 No.
But you threw $11 million in the strip club, metaphorically. You made it rain for a stripper. But then you want to man, I got to pay my mortgage. It's the big three. Man. It's so hard. I can't manage these finances. It's hard to take care of my wife. She been good to me. I can't pay her. You been at the strip club. You been gambling. How you go gamble away your money and then complain when it's time to pay your wife, your mortgage, your light bill? By the end, see, let's go look at the books now. Go look at the books now and go see what it costs you to do a brand new deal for old Zack Martin, who then retired and left you with those books, and his cost still on our books. You should have held the line. But now you had to be tough on Micah when you should have been tough on Zack Martin. You should have made the tough decision and let Schultz go. You should have made the tough decision and not do Ferguson. You should have made the tough decision and gave Tony Pollard an actual contract. You should have made the tough decision and never gave Gallup a contract. Never. You already had Amari on your books. Why did you add a whole nother receiver coming off a bad ACL onto your books? You've been at the strip club, Dallas. And say ain't nobody gonna tell you the truth.
You want answers? You can't handle the truth.
So then Michael Gehlken is gone and he doing his job and he just adding it up. He like, it's gonna be hard to pay that big three. It's gonna be hard. And Michael Gehlken giving us the warning, like, hey, I'm looking at the books. See, every business has somebody that looks at the books. Michael Gehlken, he was the dude looking at the books. Michael Gehlken, he was the accountant. He was like, this don't look good. I'm looking at y'all decisions, and this, yeah. And see, I put Dak pitch up there because it's not about the quality of Dak. It was about the mismanagement of tagging him. You shouldn't have never tagged him. What if you had that $31 million that you blew in the wind? Could you had paid Micah Parsons then? So I'm gonna give y'all the good news though. The precedent that was broken with Zack Martin was reset with Micah Parsons. Let me say that again. The precedent that was broken with Zack Martin was now reset with Micah Parsons. Y'all reset it with the wrong guy. What do you mean by that? Let me pull it up and I'm explain. Okay. All right. And I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna get up out of here. This show ain't gonna take long, but this is the channel for people that want real answers. This is not that channel that's gonna blame. This ain't about blaming Jerry, blaming Micah, blaming his agent. This is just about what's really going on. Because a lot of people want to go after Dak now and go after CD. But there was a good reset. Let me explain it. Y'all know Boss go explain it. Here we go. Okay. I talk about this all the time, but I'm going to put it together again. Hold on real quick. I pulled the wrong source. Okay. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me pull it. All right, here we go. All right. So I always talk about this. And I'm going to say it again. Okay. But in a different context. Okay. So hear me out. The Dallas Cowboys, because Michael Gehlken is right. The cap is real. It is real. Michael Gehlken is going to say something. Matter of fact, let me finish playing the clip and I'm going to come back to this. Okay. Let me play something that Michael Gehlken said and I'm going to come back to this proof source. Listen.
Yeah. Not saying that the Cowboys are going to get rid of them both. Absolutely. I would say, but one of those, I think you're not talking about, let's say 4 years from now, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott all being Cowboys if Dak Prescott signs a $60 million deal that he deserves. I don't think that's possible. So it's either Dak Prescott is going to take less than market value and the Cowboys will, retain their trio. And I'm not trying to, Dak can do whatever he is, but I think he's aware of the situation in terms of the effect that his contract has on others. And so I'm not on one side of this. I'm not positioning.
See, this is hard to say. I got to say this. See, what he was saying is hard to say. It's hard to say. See, he got that look of an accountant. It's almost like that look of your business don't look healthy. Somebody got to tell you that some stuff is coming due. So he like, you getting ready to pay Dak, but because of your decision in the past, it's not looking good for the three.
Dak should do anything, one way or the other, but it's just a fact that having the highest paid defender in NFL history, which Micah Parsons should become.
Listen.
And having the highest or second highest paid wide receiver in NFL history.
Listen.
Which CeeDee Lamb should become, and having the highest paid player in NFL history, which if Dak Prescott signs a $60 million contract, hypothetically tonight as we talk, he would become. Having all three under the same books, I'm pretty sure is unprecedented, and it wouldn't last long.
Yeah, because he said it's unprecedented because he will also say later that you have never had three players with an APY of 30 million or 30 million plus all on one team. It's never happened. It's never happened. That's why he was making the case that the cap is real.
What did you say tonight? Hold on. What did you say tonight? Did I miss something?
I thought he said Dak got paid tonight, so I was like, "What?" So
I'm just saying that if Dak Prescott signs the contract that he's worth, the $60 million a year,
okay,
it will be prohibitive to have both CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons simultaneously earning their worth, and these guys playing together, to the end of those deals. It's just not the way that the salary cap is designed to work. It's not the way it works for other teams, as roster moves elsewhere in the league have demonstrated, and it's not the way we work here in Dallas.
Right.
Damn. Boy, y'all clap it up for Michael Gehlken, man. Ooh. And he also said earlier, it has never been in Now team. It has never been on Now team where you had three people that was the top in all the categories. CeeDee Lamb top, Dak top, Micah top. It's never happened. So the reason why I said I had to come back to this because Dallas was able to get so many greats because everybody took a haircut. It was an understanding before Zack Martin. It was understood. Everybody got to get a haircut. If we gonna make this work, fellas, if we gonna make this work, everybody got to take a haircut. That's why I was emphatically saying you can't let Zack Martin do it. Because then you kill your message. Go listen to the show. I did a whole show on that. Literally saying we must hold the line against it. Because you shoot your message in the head. If you let Zack Martin skip, that tells all the youngsters you got the bag, pay me, because you let the old man skip. No disrespect, but he was older. So the message that you had that was working, you allowed Zack Martin to throw a hole in it. The courage that you showed against Micah, you should have showed with Zack Martin, and you likely wouldn't have had what you had with Micah. And I warned, and I clearly warned, and I said it loud and clear, that if you allow him to skip all the young players, you go set a new precedent against what's been working. You was the only team that was able to squeeze a bunch of talent under your cap because you made everybody take a haircut. So this is the good news. That message is back because of the sacrifice you made to Micah Parsons. That's the good news. Now you don't look like a marshmallow anymore. You don't look like a marshmallow. You don't look like everybody that holds your feet to the fire, you fold. So you don't look like that anymore. The problem is you did it with the wrong person. You should have been tough. The toughness that you showed on Micah, you should have showed on the older Zack Martin. And you would have been able to keep your message. And it would have been loud and clear. And I guarantee you, Micah, he would have took the 5-year deal then. He would have took it because he would have saw you willing to do what it takes to keep everybody together. And none of y'all finna just skip the line after I paid you and say I want more. Nope. I don't care who you are. See, you did the I don't care who you are with the wrong guy. You should have did it with somebody in their 30s. You did it with somebody in their 20s that's ascending. But the good news is that now you can preach that sermon that everybody got to take a haircut to be a Dallas Cowboy. If you want us to build the talent that we trying to build to be contenders, then yeah, I know your counterparts do 4-year deals, but yeah, you have to work with us. See, now that message is back because of what they did to Micah. It's the truth. See, I showed this before. See, listen, man, I show you. I wish more people appreciated the fact that I show people. So Tyron Smith was one of those people that took a haircut. He did an 8-year contract. He did an excessive haircut. It was excessive. He's bald. But look, Nate Soldier never was as good as him. But just 4 years later, he had a much higher average per year at 15.5. on a 4-year contract. Ronnie Stanley did a 5-year deal, $19.75 million on the average per year. Tunsil did a 3-year, 6 years later had an average per year of $22 million. David, not even close to the Tyron Smith in his prime, $23 million. That's called getting a haircut, a massive haircut. But guess what? Because of the sacrifice you just did to Micah Parsons, now when Tyler Smith come up, you can say, hey, man, y'all see we go do what we got to do. We did it with Micah. We ain't playing. See, now you can be tough. Now you can do what you used to do and make everybody take a haircut because of the sacrifice you did on Micah. But I'm just being honest. You did it with the wrong guy. You should have did it with Zack Martin. You should have did it with Schultz. You should have did it with Jake. You never should have tagged Dak. You never should have tagged Pollard. And you never should have paid Gallup. If you don't manage all them poorly, you easily have the finances to take care of a superstar and generational player. Not hardly, easily. You would have easily had the cash in the cap coffers to keep a superstar on your team. And don't make no mistake, it's going to hurt losing Micah. I'm one of them dudes who believe that our defense going to be good. I believe our defense now, especially if the one tech, or I still got to do film on the Clark, the guy we just picked up. I got to look at his film. I'm going to do that probably this evening. With y'all, I'm going to likely do it Opie. But if he play up to hopefully his resume says, oh, we gonna have a top 10 D on run D. We are. Y'all know I've been pounding the table for one tech help, but I need to research and make sure he not a 3-tech, 1-tech. I need to look at him. I ain't gonna act like I ain't looked at him yet. I'm gonna look at him. But I want us to know what this really about. And I want to thank Michael Gehlken. And I want to say this, man, I miss Michael. This was the best, hands down, insider by a lot. He said something in that show we did with him that was profound. It was underrated and profound. He said, I'm paraphrasing. He said, I have trust issues. I'm paraphrasing. I have trust issues with people that's always with every topic doing a lot of talking. With every topic. He said, because that's showing to me you likely didn't dig into the details. He said, if you always got an opinion on every topic, every day, somewhere you likely missed the granular, is what he said. And that tell you what type of person he was. He wasn't somebody that was going to speak fast. He was going to try to speak accurate. So he would rather be slow and right than fast and wrong. And because he was doing his research and he was looking at the books, he was like, we got some issues coming with that big three. He said it a year early. He said, we got some issues because I'm looking at the decisions that they made and the can is go kick back. So the next time we got us a superstar and they go out there and they throw $30 million of guaranteed at a guy on a down year, you better have a problem with it. The next time we tag players that shouldn't have never been tagged, you better have a problem with it. Because guess what? That's taking mortgage money and going to the strip club. Your mortgage money was Micah. And you was wasteful. And the can kicked you back. So it's your boy Boss Cowboy Sports, man. Shout out to all the people. Make sure y'all share this, because I promise you, I should have about 1,000 people watching right now. Especially because this is a level of truth that's not out there. This is a level of truth that most people are not going to expound on. This is a level of truth that you just not going to hear in most places. Just keeping it real. And this is a level of showing you that you not gonna hear, and most people not gonna show you like Michael showed. So this is the sad part. I'm gonna say this, man, before I get up out of here. The sad truth is this: people like Michael Gehlken, sometimes they have to get out. You know why? Because the fans a lot of times don't have an appetite for just boring old facts. Sensationalism would drive out great journalists. I don't blame him. I blame us. Because the people that's the show me people, a lot of fans don't want to hear it. They want to hear Jerry and Steve, and they some greedy motherfuckers. They some, you can free up this and free up that with just a, you see, we can get us 100 million if we restructure this. No. The man did the work and said, listen, I'm gonna show y'all where that can kick back. I like y'all cute ideas about how to free up this year's cap space, but you got to show me how that affects us down the line. And so then when he putting out facts like that, people say, boring. Let me go listen to Stephen A on some shock jock. Let me go listen to this content creator because he tells me what I want to hear. But the people that was putting in the work with the facts, the people like Michael Gehlken that was exposing Kellen Moore early, he was the first person that was saying, Kellen, is it smart to always take what the defense gives you? Is that smart? Isn't there a time you got to allow your offense to dictate to that defense? He was the one that asked Stephen Jones, you was paying Amari like a number one, but why wasn't he getting his targets like a number one? Him. But guess what? He's no longer with the Dallas Morning News. I don't blame him. I blame us. Because we want the popcorn, positivity, sugary, sensational journalists. That's what we want. We don't recognize the journalists that's gonna go get you the true story. that take risk, that ask the hard questions, that'll sit there and tell Jerry and Steve into their face, why do y'all wait to the end? When everybody with that old soft ass shit, Jane will say, why do y'all do that? She'll be the one that'll go talk to the players and get Micah's perspective. This is what Micah said happened. So there are certain journalists, when you see the integrity, you got to protect them because you might not see them for long. And you will be left with the kiss butts. You will be left with the people that Jerry and them can say, hey, man, go put this out for me. Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because, see, that's what's left now. It's a whole bunch of suck-ups left. And guess what? It's a lot of suck-ups that's starting to enter into our space. We used to be the space where we kept old media accountable. Now, we becoming just like them. We becoming just like old media, where it's about sensationalism, where it's about Micah's a greedy mofo. No, I'm proud of Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons knew his worth, and he was smart enough not to take millions for granted. I see people say stuff like, yeah, Micah Parsons, what's $3 million? He should have just, you would never keep millions wasting millions. Oh man, he said he didn't have to be the highest paid. Well, Jerry changed his mind. Why can't Micah change his too? See, that's that Steve and Sambo mentality, where Jerry get to say, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to trade you. I changed my mind. But Micah can't say, you know what? I changed my mind. I do want to be the highest paid. I talked to my agent and he convinced me, and he's actually right, that I'm worth it. This is going to be maybe the last time I'm worth a lottery ticket. And you need to get all of it or you can end up broke. So I'm not going to be that channel to where, Michael, he's a selfish, he wasn't a leader. You crazy. You crazy. You are crazy. Half this team changed their profile to try to get this man back on the team. They didn't do it with Dak. They didn't do it with CeeDee Lamb. A whole lot of people was in fights, and you didn't see half the team fighting with him. But we got the nerve to act like he wasn't a leader. Man, you don't know what you're looking at. So I'm going to say this. I'm not going to be the person that's hating on Micah because he did what was best for him. I guarantee you this, Green Bay won't be slandering him. I guarantee you this, Green Bay fans won't be crying and complaining about him doing a podcast once a week. I guarantee you this, when he misses voluntary OTAs because he's doing a unique workout that he's paying for out of pocket, I guarantee their fans won't be shitting on him. I guarantee their media won't be questioning his leadership when half the team willing to change their profile going against the owner for him. I'm proud of you, Micah. You made a man decision. And we can do better as an organization. And I'm going to do my part to make that happen, man. I'm going to do that part because I'm still fighting for a championship. There is a chance that our defense is going to be real good, too. It's a chance our defense is going to be real good. I'm telling you. We deep at defensive end, man. Being honest. It's a situation where, honestly, this could work out potentially for both parties. I'm dead serious about that, bro. And this ain't sucking up to no front office. This is just honest. This could be where we lucked in as we do into what's best. We lucked into Dak. We didn't want Dak. We lucked into Dak. Yeah. we could have lucked into best. Real talk. So I'm just telling you, I ain't on that suckery stuff where I'm not gonna be joining the campaigns to go against the people who played hurt, came ready, was on Hall of Fame paces. I ain't doing it. You can go somewhere else. If you want to be the person that slander Zeke, slander Dak, slander Micah, slander CD, this ain't the channel, brother. I'm not finna do all that sucking up the front office. I'm not finna do all that. We sick, boss. Jerry. Jerry, you in the right. I blame him. I don't blame you, Master Jerry. I don't blame you, sir. Sir, I don't